Recording?
Good.
We on? We official? Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order.
Roll call.
Stella, are you taking the role today?
I guess so, yes.
Well, I guess
I was
what?
coaching.
It's a
We got a new person taking the role for us.
All right, Mr. Moncher,
Here.
Mr. Nichols. Oh, Mr. Murray, I'm sorry, skip.
Here late.
Mr. Nichols,
Whatever you said here.
Mr. Nichols, Mr. Stahl,
Good morning.
Mr. Orzak.
So we now have a quorum, is that correct?
Here.
Okay,
Yes.
Good, thank you. Roll call. First order of business is approval of the June 13th, 2025 minutes that were forwarded to you. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have to take rolls or what do we need to do?
You could do it by acclamation if you want.
We're good.
Just
So
ask
we're good.
for any nay votes.
Yeah. The way you did it is just fine.
Pardon?
Stuart's saying that the way you did it is just fine.
Okay, okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approved. Okay. Now, Michelle, are you gonna do this or you still gonna stick Sally with this?
No, I'll do this part.
Okay.
All right, guys, good morning. We're looking at
Finance
the,
reports.
yep, we're looking at the August financials here. You should have them up there on your screen. So, it's showing, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
So looking at revenue, general fund revenue at the end of August, we were a little bit down compared to where we were the same time last year. Here's our major revenue sources. You'll see in blue the income tax revenue. 2024 compared to 2025, we're down about $528,000. That's attributed to net profit returns. So extensions on net profit returns, they have until November to file. So it'll be late this year to see how the net profit returns end up for the year. We'll know more in December. In orange on the sheet is the lodging tax. Lodging tax is very similar to where we were last year. And in gray is our admissions tax. Our admissions tax is actually up compared to last year. We're up about just over $200,000 in admissions tax. Full revenue, general fund revenue 2024 compared to 2025. You'll see $23.6 million last year. This year we're at 23.4, so a little bit of a decrease from last year. But again, I know I've mentioned this probably every meeting that we've had. We did have revenue last year that showed up as the advance that was repaid. So that revenue is showing up in 2024. We do not have any advances that are getting repaid in 2025. Moving on to the expenses for the general fund, top line in blue there is the administrative support line. Again, that always includes the transfer amounts that we do. $9.4 million is where the support was for 2025, very similar to where we were in 2023. The other lines on there, it looks orange, but blue and a red orangish color, that's police and fire. They're real similar in expenses to where they were previously. And the bottom, you have municipal court and also the horticulture and public realm. If we look at the expenses for the general fund by category, the blue line at the top is our wages and fringe benefits. You'll see that our wages and fringe benefits are up slightly. It is time to note that we do have our final contract ratified. So the AFSCME contract was the last union contract that we had to ratify. We have that ratified in August of this year. So all of our contracts are good for the next 3 years. So we're good until the end of 2027 at this time. The yellow line there is going to be the transfers, $8.5 million in transfers in 2025, real similar to where we've been the last 2 years. Orange line is contractual services. We're seeing an uptick in contractual services, mostly because of legal fees that have been going on with the Cleveland Road Safety Project. So we're seeing that come in this year. That Cleveland Road Safety Project, ODOT is a large part of that project. We only have to expend about 13 or 14% of city funds to make that project come to reality. So there is some legal fees that are in there, but that's baked into to the whole construction project that we have at the roundabout. And the gray line at the bottom is our supplies and materials, very similar to where we have been in the previous years. Here's the expenditures as a whole, $22.1 million this year. Last year, we were at $21.2 million, so we are seeing a little bit of an increase in expenditures. Cash balance in the general fund, at the end of August, we were at $6.2 million, in the same ballpark as where we've been previously since 2022. Last slide here is the full-time employees. So we're at 250 full-time employees. Police and fire obviously are making up just over 100 employees full-time that we have in the city. The rest of the departments there. Broken out shows the numbers of where they were at the end of August. That's all I have. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Chairman, what was the repayment that was received in 2024? I don't recall the specifics of that.
That was an advance, and at the end of 2023, we had the Perkins Avenue project that was ongoing. We got additional state grant dollars. We made the payments. We were waiting for those dollars to come in. It was at the end of the year at 2023, so we had advanced the funds over to the state grants to make those payments so that that fund was not negative at the end of the year. And then when we received the money in from, I believe it was May, when that came in 2024, we received that and we had to pay back the general fund.
I do recall that now. What was the amount?
$900,000.
Oh, so if we factor that in, we're up compared to 2024
Correct.
by about 400,000 overall.
Correct.
Okay. And you believe that there's probably some lag in the, I guess I'll call it the business taxes because of the extension, so we're likely to see a makeup in that as well.
We hope.
And I think the point that you made about the admissions taxes being up is an important one. As we're seeing Six Flags struggle around the country, they're not struggling here, so that's an important point.
Absolutely.
That's a very important point. Because I get the question frequently asked to me, well, was Six Flags struggling? And I said, yes, but each park stands on its own one for the municipality that it's in. So I think that's something that we need to explain to people, because I don't think the general public understands that if they're doing bad in Georgia or whatever it is, it affects the company, but it does not affect our admission tax or the parking tax. As long as the people come over and Cedar Point is successful in itself.
That's true, but to the extent that the whole organization suffers, we're seeing a decline in maintenance at Cedar Point, and we're seeing
Yes.
bathrooms that are left uncleaned. It's that, and we're seeing silly fees being charged for holiday weekends. So that's counterproductive, and that could hurt us in the long run. So we'll just have to all monitor that closely.
I mean, it's a balancing act because everybody just sees Six Flags. They don't look at it in its components. And but good points, Dennis.
Thank you. And one other, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Michelle, I wonder if you could go back to the cash balance chart. If it is possible, for the sake of future commissions and future finance committees, and I really think that this is something that should be front and center with the city commission. I know you send it to us, and we might look at it, but I'm not convinced that everybody looks at it. But
I'm sorry.
you should hear the questions from the table sometimes. But what would be great if you could superimpose on this in a way, and this has to be some Excel whiz, and maybe that's you and maybe it's Sally, but if you could superimpose on that an indication of what the percentage of the cash, of the actual expenditures are, it would be helpful, because that number has gone up, but now it's coming down a little bit in terms of the percentage. And so I just want, I think visually, if they had future finance committee members and city commissioners had a way to see that, it would be helpful in calibrating, what they think in terms of expenditures.
And we've talked about this before, and I think what we thought would be best is at the year-end snapshot, because our expenditures are, kind of moving throughout the year. So I believe we did do that last year for the December year-end financials and had both benchmarks in there. But yeah, we can look at that.
Being on a cash basis, everything is, we could have something great in May, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
July hits,
correct.
like extra payrolls and things like that.
Absolutely. Yep. It fluctuates a lot during the year, but by the end of the year, it all washes out.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the August financials as presented.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I can do this again with Weiser. I don't care what the rule is, just tell me what the rule is.
There's no hard and fast rule. You could do it by acclamation. This is an important enough vote, though, I would suggest you take.
Okay, I think the financials are, okay, would you take a roll call?
Sure. Mr. Montrick?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Mr. Orzak?
Yes.
Mrs. Poirier?
Yes.
Approved is, okay, thank you. I had one question before we get to the stabilization fund.
The balance in that is just over $1 million, $1,061,729.
Which is a little higher than what we've had it. Do you have something that's going to come?
We have a lot
I
of,
should have asked that before, but I apologize.
no worries. We have a lot of pending retirements. It could happen at any moment. So the balance is there, but we don't do any transfers in the payroll stabilization. The expenses that we expend throughout the year, that transfer does not happen until December. So this balance has been the same for a while, and we'll make those transfers at the end of the year.
I suppose I can still ask questions. We haven't closed out on financial business, but I know that, or saw the paper where all of the, police, fire, you negotiated the contracts. I got here my notes even before I got here, okay, that I know that this committee has always recommended to the commission about administrative raises. Are we to that point yet? Okay.
Nope.
I assume budget's going to be coming quicker than you wanted to.
Yeah, we're already working on the 2026 budget. At our next meeting on December 5th, we'll have a presentation that will include the 2026 budget, but before that, we'll look at administrative wages and recommendations that will go to the
December meeting is when
commission.
we would make the recommendation to the commission,
Correct.
which then would probably be to the new commission.
Correct. So the intent is that the 2026 budget will not go to commission until their first meeting in January. They'll have at least 2 readings and longer if they would like, so.
Okay. Just don't want to forget the administration.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other new business? Okay, old business. Before we go any further on that, I think you've all either been sent emails or have the knowledge of the fact that we received the audit. There is no findings and no management letter. Some people may disagree how we spend the money. I can assure people that stewardship-wise, we take care of things. And as long as I've been on this committee, which is a long time, we've always had great audits, and it just goes to show you that we have great people. I want to take a minute to commend Michelle and Sally and everybody else in the department. It's a big job getting all that stuff together.
Thank you. It takes a team. It takes everybody in the city doing what they're supposed to be doing to get a clean audit. So we're very thankful.
You're here.
Yes, I mean, thank you.
Yep, so that was just the update on old business, because last time we met, we had the auditors here, we had it all filed, but we couldn't release it publicly until the state released it. It just got released by the state, the audit for 2024 at the end of August. So it's out there, it's on our website. Anybody can ask for a copy if they need it.
When did they announce whether or not we get the certificate again last year?
So I would anticipate that we would get the, I think it's the award of distinction from the state auditor's office. I would expect to receive that. The timing, I don't know. It took them a lot longer this year to release the audit than normal, so I'm not sure what the timing would be on releasing that. The audit did get submitted to GFOA for possible award there, so we're waiting to hear. That one, it could be a year from now. You never know on that one either.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Anything else about the audit or otherwise? How about the various purpose notes that were issued, which,
So just kind of update you guys, we did issue the notes this year. It was $11.8 million with a net interest cost of 2.67%. So I sent that all out. That's happened obviously between last meeting and this meeting. Just wanted to make sure everybody was aware, but we were very happy with that. We did have Moody's do a rating again. Everything stayed consistent with Moody's. They gave us a MIG 1 rating on those notes, which is the highest rating you can get on those notes. So very happy with that, and that's what produced that good interest rate for the city.
as Mr. Murray and I have talked numerous times, having the cash balance in the percentages that Moody's wants, and getting that rating is critical for the cost of the notes. I don't really think the general public realizes what that does mean.
Correct.
They want to know what all the cash is there for. Well, it's for the rainy day, to make sure that the city can continue to function.
Absolutely.
And we saw a rainy day not too long ago.
I'm sorry?
And we saw a rainy day not too long ago.
Yeah.
With COVID, so.
Yes, absolutely.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, inquire, if I may inquire of Ms. Reeder. Do you mind if I ask Ms. Reeder a question?
I'm sorry?
May I ask Ms. Reeder a question?
Sure.
Okay. So I brought this up with the city manager recently, and I just want to make sure that we have this conversation and we can be as confident as we can about where we're heading in terms of a possible elimination of the real estate tax and what that might mean to TIF bonds. We may very well be headed off the charts here. I don't know what the public's going to do, and since we have a year to prepare, hopefully we will get everyone to the point where they understand that that would be a disaster. But early polling indicates it would pass by pretty clear margins, pretty wide margins. So I think, future commissions and administrations are going to have to be worried about what happens if we lose that piece of our general fund. That is a significant piece, but it's not as significant as it is to the bonds that are outstanding. The bonds that are outstanding are supported by the real estate taxes, particularly the TIF bonds is what I have in mind. And I'm a little concerned about, well, first of all, no one knows what that's going to mean. There are some indications that state constitutional amendment would likely be a violation of the federal contracts clause. And it'll be interfering with an existing contract between, and I'm not sure here, and this is where I need a little bit of help in terms of understanding who the players are. Right now, with existing TIF bonds, my recollection or understanding is that there's someone that stands between us and the bondholder, whether that's a bond indenture or who that is, I don't know, but then there is a contract, as I would understand it, that the city will continue to pay the real estate taxes to pay off those bonds or the payments in lieu of taxes. Can either you or Mr. Hastings explain that today, or maybe it's a discussion to be had in the future after a little bit of research?
Yeah, we're aware of the issue. And there is a contract, I believe. And you're right to point out the U.S. Constitution. The taxes are actually collected by the city the way it normally works. And then we distribute the money pursuant to the contract. So the money comes to the city then pays what they contractually indicated for the bonds.
So my concern then is that a big chunk of the various purpose notes, as I remember Ms. Reeder, was that we're sort of prepaying or pre-borrowing so that we can fund the landing park. And when is it that we would go out to permanently bond those funds? Is that still in 2026?
That's the anticipation in 2026. So you are correct. Right now, we have $8 million that's on the various purpose notes for the landing project. Now, that is backed by the Cleveland Road TIF. The Cleveland Road TIF has a minimum payment of $550,000, so minimum payment that they have to make on that TIF. There's currently some debt outstanding on that. When they did the roadway improvements, we took out a $2.3 million debt issuance at that time. That's a 10-year repayment schedule. I want to say it's 2031 when that one falls off. So that one's already on the books, and then we'll have long-term debt for the landing next year that will add to that.
The reason I raise it is there may be a timing issue. If the constitutional amendment were to become effective before we go out for the permanent financing, I don't know where we land in that, no pun intended, in that space. Do we have a contract then? I mean, we have a contract with Cedar Point, RC Fair, but do we have a contract with the bondholders? At that point, we don't, because we haven't sold them yet. So just something to keep in mind as next year unfolds. It'll be your worry, not mine.
It's all our worry.
Man, talk about kicking the can down the road. Man.
Not meaning to, I just can't do anything about it that time.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be there to educate people, but that's okay.
Only phone call away.
Yes. Yes.
You want me to just keep moving along?
So is that, anybody got any other questions on, that's the Cedar Point Causeway project?
So this came up at our
Drive
meeting.
Mr. Stalk, absolutely crazy. Get all the cars going over there because we need the parking tax.
Mr. Murray and I are going to be out there and Hollow Weekend's attire this weekend and giving directions on how to get in.
I just want to give you guys an update. I did send it to you guys in an email, but between our last meeting and this meeting, the City Commission did approve the Causeway Agreement with Cedar Fair. So it's a 22-year agreement, and we will be giving them $1.25 million. So just wanted to bring that up. We did have questions about it last time, but the actual legislation has been passed by the Commission at this point.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I point out for the listening public that we're not going to give them $1.25 million. They're going to collect it, and we're going to give it back to them. The way we say, I've heard it stated, and I think you just did, Michelle, that we're going to give them $1.2 million. They're going to collect it. They give it to us. We're going to give it back to them. So that's an important thing that the public doesn't think that we're just gifting them.
I don't think the public understands that at all.
I happen to be president of the Cedar Point Property Owners, so I know more about it than what I really want to know. But it's an important part of that I think needs clarification.
Well, and further to that point, that was part of the deal. When Cedar Fair stood down and did not litigate the increase in admissions tax, and particularly the addition of the parking tax, that was part of the deal when we passed issue 8.
That's correct.
And that we would be providing that funding support. So, you don't get the revenue without the liability and the commitment that's on the backside of that. So it's both.
It's a great project, Mr. Murray, and congratulations for the commission at that time for negotiating that. I think it's a beautiful thing. The Causeway was built originally and started in 1955, I believe. The first company that started it went broke, finished it in 56, and it's like anything else that's 70 years old, including me. You need a little work now and then, and it needs work. I'm excited. My question is, anybody have any info on this? This isn't a finance thing, but are they going to be making an announcement if they picked a vendor yet? I know it's down. I understood it was at, here I go talking on a microphone. I think it was down to 3 vendors. Anybody know if they've chosen a vendor?
I'm not aware of them choosing a vendor. I know they were waiting on permits in going through the final planning or design phase of the project. My understanding is that they plan on starting the project next fall, so the fall of '26 after the season's over. Most of the work and construction is going to take place in the off-season, and they'll be doing some by boat or barge or whatever. The biggest part of the project is expanding the west side of the causeway. So I think they're getting close, but there hasn't been any finalization. But the last conversation I had, they're still on track to start next fall.
Thank you, Mr. Orzak.
Welcome.
Our resident expert over there. Does anybody have any other comments or anything about the Cedar Point project, Causeway project?
It's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to work. It's needed.
Look at all the entranceways to major parks. Yes. Okay, the landing project?
So just the update on this one also, I sent you guys the ordinance that was passed by commission. Again, this was passed in July. We awarded a $19.3 million project to the landing. And as we spoke previously, it's going to be mostly backed by the Cleveland Road TIF, this project is. It's got an 18-month time frame to be completed, so goal is at the end of 2026. It should be completed and open to the public.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I ask you another quick question?
That's what we're on for, as long as it's a landing project.
Okay, yeah, we're not morphing back to the causeway. When's this thing going to start?
It already started. We had a groundbreaking last week, and the construction, Mosier's the construction company, and they already have equipment out there and starting the project.
Can I ask one additional question? When is the roundabout on Cleveland Road going to start?
So we just got permission to bid from the commission, I think not this past meeting, but the one before. So we're doing that process. Once we get the bids in, and it's usually a 45 to 60 day window, then we'll go back to commission to award the project. So, but that's out to bid right now.
So you anticipate full construction starting beginning of next year?
Correct.
Wonderful. Good job.
The engineers, Aaron Klein's goal is to have the roundabout portion of that project done in the spring, and before the season's open. So that's his goal right now. Have to wait and see, but it's not just the roundabout. It's from the city limits to Sycamore Line, and there's signalization and sidewalks and other components to the project. So he'll be working with the contractor on a timeline of different phases of that project, but we should have an award within the next 2 months.
Very good. Good job. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything else on the landing project? I don't see anybody public out there. Is there anybody on or anybody asking questions?
We have nothing.
Because can't they email you questions?
They could.
Okay, I just want to make sure I don't want to go on and find out that you got 5 emails from Sharon. So, members of the committee, Mr. Murray, Stahl, this is your last shot.
I've spoken more than I generally do, so my time is up.
Not that I would ask a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.